Domain expansion. Nah, actually, we're just going to talk about fear of missing out today. Because when you're detached from reality and you're isolated from others, or at least you feel that way, it can be very daunting. It can be very fear-inducing, that's for sure. You know, we feel like we're not a part of everyone else. We're not a part of the people around us, our family, our friends. But that in it of itself separates you from them and from reality as we know it. See, the real world, you're not so alone. You have tons of people around you. You have friends, you have family. And while you may not have the closest relationships with them, you're not completely far apart. Quite honestly, that whole phrase when everyone says, oh, you wake up, or you are born alone and you die alone, or something like that. And, you know, sometimes you can feel like that's true, and maybe sometimes it is true, but it's not just that. That's too basic of a concept. You can't dilute your entire life down to, well, I'm probably going to die alone while I'm sleeping while my spouse is out and about, so it doesn't matter. But it does matter. And it does matter that you have people around you. And it does matter even if someone's in your life for just a couple months at a time. It's important to be with the people that you're with. Spend time with the people that you have spent time with in the past, and your close friends, your acquaintances, your coworkers, your family. All of that matters. And you can't just throw it all away. You can't just give up on all of it just because you feel like you're not close enough to people. How counterintuitive is that? Right? So you're not close enough to people, so you throw in the towel and just give up. You're just going to let it go, be like, well, I feel alone. No one around me is close enough to me, and that sucks, so I'm just going to completely isolate myself. What's wrong with that? Everything. So you have found the problem, you understand that you're not close enough to the people that you're with, and then you just give up on it. You're just not going to try to be better and try to improve your life. Like, none of that matters to you. It matters to me. Quite honestly, like I tell you in every single one of these videos, this video is for me and for you. I am not infallible. These things I'm talking to you about are because I have experienced them myself. I have had to push through this every day, every hour, every minute, every month, every year. After EDC Rave, the EDC Orlando that I went to, it was probably the best weekend of my entire life. It was music that I love around people that love the same kind of music. It's free, it's compassionate, there's good people all around you, no one gets mad at you. They start mosh pits to beat each other up to have fun. And they throw each other across the mosh pit with a smile on their face, and the person getting absolutely wrecked is having the biggest goofy grin on their face of all time. And you can attribute that to drugs or whatever, but the point is that the EDC rave and electronic dance music crowd, they are a great group of people. Now, whether or not that is influenced by Ket and whatever else, M and stuff, the point is they are having fun and nothing can bring them down. Probably because they are using extracurricular things. But while I did see some of that there, most of it was just people with a good vibe. And afterwards, every day, I would say Friday, I was happy. I had a great night, and I was so excited to do it again. On Saturday, I was very excited, and I was tired on the way home. On Sunday, my energy was back. but my entire day was just, I mean, physically my body was drained, but my mind was alert. And for the first time, I was sad that it was the last day. I was detrimentally, depressed the day after. And it's not to say that you should never go to a rave concert, because you're going to have so much fun that the whole next week you're going to be sad. And you should never do that, because you don't want to put yourself in a depressive state. It's not that. It's the simple fact that you have a dopamine and serotonin center in your brain that attributes fun, and it got burnt out so much that I was so mad that I missed out on it. I felt like I was missing out like my whole life. Like, this was when I turned 21. Like, well, not turned, but when I was 21 a couple months ago. And what was it? November. So probably 5 months ago. And now I can't wait for next EDC. And I want to go to more raves if I wasn't trying to get broke super fast. But I was just thinking to myself, first of all, why didn't I start this at the age of 18? I should have done this sooner. And also, I need to make more money so I can go to raves every weekend. Because the people, because the atmosphere, because the fun, the music, all of it. Even the scenery. Those are all of the things that I want in my life in terms of fun. I love music. I love that type of music. I love the photography possibilities with all the different sets and shows in different areas around that you can explore. And then also the people. I mean, as a photographer, it'd be awesome to bring my camera in there, but I'd probably get ransacked, probably destroyed and or confiscated by security. So I'll have to use my phone. But my point is that right there covers a lot of aspects of fun for me. And I guess the only last thing is, a very healthy relationship, which can be found there. I have heard of people getting rave bays there that are in it for life, but I don't know. The crowd just isn't, that's not really the right crowd for you. If you want someone to settle down with, you don't go to an adrenaline junkies fun fest of raves. Not exactly the best approach for that. You're definitely going to find your person there, but your person for 10 years from now, I'm not sure is the right one from a festival like that. But you never know. But what I'm trying to get at here is after experiencing a lot of fun, after experiencing a good time with a lot of people, or your close friends or close family, it can feel like you're missing out because you have to leave. There's always an end to these events. You can't just constantly be having fun like this with one person, with one group of people. They've got to go back to their lives, and hopefully you get to meet again, but it can really suck that you don't get to experience that with that person anymore. It sucks not being able to do that with that person or that group of people, I guess all you can say is enjoy the fun times, because you did it right when the next day you feel terrible. And not because of a hangover. I'm talking about terrible because you can't keep experiencing that thing. Now, by the way, I was an only child, so when I was at home a lot, I didn't get to go outside all the time. My parents said, wait until 6 a.m., ask us first, let us know where you're going to be, and etc. I would sit on my front porch stoop and hang out with my buddy until my parents woke up. He would come knocking at my door at 5:30 in the morning. I'd be up. We didn't need alarms. But we were excited to live every day. To be together, to hang out. I could have sworn we were out the entire day. My lunch was a pickle that we got from his parents' house. We ate a pickle, we drank some Gatorade, and we went back out again. We subsisted on nothing. No breakfast, nothing. I don't know how we did it. We climbed trees all day, played with Nerf guns, hide and go seek, and while we wish we had more people to hang out with, it was just me and him. And, you know, every other week he wouldn't be around. He would be with his other parent. And that sucked. Because I have video games. I had a pool at our old house. I could go around on my scooter in the neighborhood, but without him, I felt alone. Because we had so much fun together. And we are constantly doing something. And it never really stopped. You know, he could have been out shopping or something, and it just sucked, you know? It was disappointed to me. And that went on for a while, man. I made some other friends as well over the course of time, and you know, old school, you knock on the door, hey, is whatever home? Yeah? No? Oh, man, we didn't have phone numbers. I didn't have a cell phone, but I could knock on the door. And that's the thing is, you know, sometimes you can feel like you're missing out on your childhood, or you missed out on your childhood, you're missing out on the present. And that's the most important thing, is you have to stop fretting about it. You have to put your phone down if you're not using it for anything specifically important. Live in the moment and get closer to the people that are close to you. Otherwise, man, that's how you feel lost. That's how you feel disconnected. You've got to get closer to these people. You have to. And man, it's tough. It's tough out here, you know? We don't always get to do what we want and be with who we want to be with. That FOMO can really get to you, and that the fear of missing out can be true sometimes. Maybe you are actually missing out on something. You need to suppress that fear, because if you accept it, if you let the FOMO and the fear of isolation drown you out, you stop living in the moment. You actually start missing out on the things that truly matter. You know, and that's when you start to get detached from reality. I'm talking about not understanding where you are, who you fit in with, who doesn't fit in with you, and what's going on. You know, I think there's a couple different perspectives on the world. You have one where, you know, you can be usually an optimistic person, but if one thing goes wrong in your way, you self-destruct. You combust, you implode from yourself. You get stressed out and your fuse just pops. And that optimism just completely converts into just, I don't know what to do. And you're paralyzed. And usually optimistic people, when they're faced with a challenge that they can't deal with, they shut down and implode. And it's sad to see, because these people are good people. They are so strong in their optimism against all odds, but when it comes time to problem solving, or dealing with a specific issue, or someone rubbed off the wrong way with them, they self-combust. They can't handle it. They can't do it anymore. And that's what sucks, you know? That's what I feel for them, you know? It shouldn't be that way, but sometimes it is. I guess what I'm trying to get at here is, you know, another delusion, I guess you could say, is someone who's they use anger as your defensive strategy. So when a problem comes out of nowhere or something comes up, you get angry and you shift the blame into someone else. You shift the blame, you're defensive, and you attack another person. That's not a good way to live. And that's detached from reality. The reality is that you are partially to blame and they are as well. You have the third option, which is partially related to this anger option, but I think it does correlate a little bit differently in the way that this one is the blame game. So they really don't care about what they did. They don't even address it, but what they do address is what you did wrong. And you did this, and you can tell them certain thing, and you can say, well, what about this? No, that was you. So no matter what they do, no matter what you do, it's always your fault when you're hanging around these people. They always shift the blame. They always try to be angry. Another one, fourth. You have, oh my God. They just wiped out the conservation area. Oh, Jesus. Anyways, that sucks. It's a conservation area and they just wiped out half the forest. Anyways, the other thing that you can, I guess, look at is people that are negative about others. They always try to be critical of something else someone else did. Right? This person did this and this, and they gossip. They talk about someone behind their back in a negative light, and then that breeds more of that, because when people realize that it's okay to say something like that, then they continue, and it's back and forth and back and forth. And sometimes that negativity actually brings people together, a mutual hate of someone else. But two things will happen. First of all, your relationship with someone else is based on negativity and hate for someone else. Not exactly the best way to found your relationship upon. The second thing is what if that gets back to another person? And what if that person is not as loyal as you think to you with that negativity? Maybe one person actually is saying that just to get it out of you as a strategic, social way of destroying you. All of these things come together, and you have to be mindful of yourself. You have to be self-aware of yourself and what others are doing around you. And you have to be self-aware of the reality of life, where you need to find balance in it. You can't just feel like you're the only one and no one else cares about you and you're a loser and no one likes me, no one loves me. That's not true. There's always someone around you. There's always someone semi-close to you. As a friend, a church acquaintance, a coworker, or family, it doesn't matter, but you have someone, I promise you that. I promise you that. And the second option is maybe you don't have enough. The people that preach to me all the time, they say you need to have 3 good friends. You don't need to have 300 okay friends. And I believe that is true. However, they're failing to realize that there is people out here that have 300 okay acquaintances. They have 30 decent friends. They have 10 great friends. And they have 3 best friends. And maybe they have 1 BFF. You know what I mean? Best man. Best woman. I don't know. But that right there is really what it comes down to. You have to foster relationships that is inside your family and outside. Whoa, that came out wrong. Do not pull an Alabama on me. What I mean is you need to spend time with people in your family, oh my gosh, as family, and also you need to make friends in and outside of work, in and outside of family. You need to do better, because I promise you this, you don't have enough friends. There's always more You need one for every hobby. You need one for every time period. You need one for weekends, one for weekdays, one for special occasions, vacations, and just craziness. But also someone loyal to you when it comes time to it. Sometimes you can find all of those in the same friend, and sometimes you have to find many friends to accomplish all of that. I think another thing is you need to stop putting so much pressure on friends. There's been times where people are like, can you drive me home every single day from work? Okay, homie, get me the gas money, because you're burning up my gas. I gotta drive 30 minutes out of my way for you, buddy. You is not just my best friend if that's happening. You is my BFF. You are my best man, and you better be paying for every one of my drinks at the bar and my gas. You know what I mean? That's the kind of guy that needs to get you right every Saturday when you go out to the club. This is my homie, bro. This is my homie right here. He saved my life and gave me mouth-to-mouth and CPR 3 times. He cured cancer, and he also saved the neighbor's cat from a burning building with his bare hands. Like, you need to hype this man up. If he's driving you home from work every day, 30 minutes out of his way. I'm just saying. Stuff like that. So you gotta stop putting so much pressure on your friends, or you gotta stop letting your friends put pressure on you. I had that problem with someone for a while where they relied on me for emotional, physical, emotional validation, physical validation, mental validation, spiritual validation, anything you could think of. They got it through me and only me. Their family cut them off, or at least they cut off their family, and they had no other friends. And quite frankly, it ruined our relationship as friends because it consumed her. Like, it was all she was. It was just that. She constantly texted me and called me, and while I appreciated someone like that as my friend, it was a detriment to our relationship and friendship. I can't be close to someone like that because there's nothing to enjoy. You're just there all the time, you know? And not in the good way. I saw all of your flaws, and it was just, I didn't see anything good. Over the course of time, I started to run out of good things to say about you. It just went downhill. And that's why, as a friend, as a person, as an individual yourself, you need to work on yourself, and you need to be better. And not just say it. Mean it, do it, and be it. You can't just walk around thinking you're going to get away with it forever. Your friends notice, and if you aren't pulling your own weight, they won't have time for you. Anyways, I'll catch you later. See ya.